Hi. I have a story for you if you need a distraction. I need to, whatever. I was just saying I need to tell more stories, and likely you might be like, no, actually, I don't need a distraction, and you shouldn't be telling stories. You should be, I don't know, working at Lowe's. Um, this is it. Mexico trip. As you can see, it took precedent over British literature, which was also happening that semester. But winter break happened in 1992, and 92 was a big year for me. I had gone to Mexico with my teacher in this wild affair, and I had such a good time there, and it was such an easy trip as far as getting what we needed that I was like, guys, let's just go back to Mexico. I did this before. Well, the thing was, is my teacher spoke Spanish fluently, and that's how it was so effective, our travel, and efficient, and we got along with everybody. So we get in my Mercury Tracer, go down there, and our first night sucks. We're in this American-owned hotel. Like these, God, this guy was such a like Mike Lindell pillow guy. You know that guy, just a skis, and and we're sad, especially my buddy here. He's from Spain. And he's like, no, this isn't how it should be. And so you look at political texts still, and so this is why I'm telling stories. So it was rough, and everybody's like, Jared, I thought you said Mexico would be awesome, and I was like, well, it can be, and I was like, wait a second, Jason, you speak Spanish. Oh, I forgot I put sticky notes to hide one of the guy's identity. I don't know if he wants to be identified because he's the hero of the story. I was like, Jason, let's go into the street, speak your Spanish, and let's meet some people. And it was like 10 minutes later, or maybe, I don't know, several hours, but I don't know. But we run into this guy named Poncho. He's got this white pickup, construction guy. He's like, hey, I have a friend who has a beach property. It's completely empty right now. We're like, what? Is this real? Are we going to die? Who cares? Let's give it a shot. He takes us out there. And this is incredible. This is the hammock out in front of the trailer where we would stay. But this is hard to see. Okay. See? This right here. This is the restaurant. Completely empty. Everything's functioning. Ovens, ranges, sinks. And he takes us out there. He's like, okay, so there's just a couple things. Oh yeah, we would drink. There's me. How cute. Look at, I'm saving labels. Look how drunk I am. That's me. That's what I look like. Handsome. Ah! Then reality. And just drunker than a skunk. I just turned 18, so I was thrilled to be able to just to get lit all the time, and we did. But Poncho's like, listen, a lot of my buddies, there's a lot of shrimp, but they would love access to the kitchen. We're like, hell yeah. So we threw parties. This is a guy we call Chef Bueno. He cooked all the time. Like you'd hear somebody rattling around in the morning, he'd have breakfast going. He was just so excited. His family was lovely. And here's us milling around like idiots in the kitchen, hoping somebody produces something other than us. Look at learning. They got the shrimp. We ate so much shrimp. It was shrimping season. We were developing like little legs on our abdomens. Here's some rum, which made me hork. It wasn't as bad as the other beverage I drank, and then I went crazy, and I climbed over the wall at a resort, and I had to get tackled on the tennis court. Different story. But here's the beach where we are in Puerto Penasco. Probably crazy developed right now on the Pacific side. And it's winter, so it was a little chilly. We felt no pain. And everything is great. Oh, dude, okay. So, also, Pancho said there's a guy named Ramon. He needs a place to live. He's also a bit of an alcoholic, but can he stay? We're like, well, that's us. So he was a very old man, and he stayed with us. Very nice guy. And here's when you know you have a drinking problem: is when a guy who's been an alcoholic since a very long time ago is very concerned that you're drinking this stuff called Victoria, which was like 98% alcohol. That's the stuff that made me nuts, and I threw rocks at everybody and then ran down to a club and climbed over the wall, and people found me on the tennis courts. Anyway, so here we are partying with Ramon. Things are great. This is the musical montage part of the story. You know, walking on sunshine. Good times. And this guy here, Hiroshi, good friend of mine, I don't know where he is. The last I heard, he was living in a trailer in a Y2K cult. Let's see. But then, it's Ramon, my buddy Jason there. This girl, Adriana, probably one of the most beautiful and athletic humans I've ever met in my life. And she really liked us. And we liked her. And so did El Vaquero, who owned the property. And the man Pancho said, don't mess with El Vaquero. He's the cowboy. He has his hands in a lot of things. Hopefully not, your open wounds. And so we were like, sure, we'll just eat shrimp. But now we're learning to cook. We're just learning to cook. Oh, yeah, Sergio, this guy, he's one of the best cooks on the planet. He's that awesome sweater, just confident. But then Adriana, you can see here, she is Vaquero's love interest, right? According to the cowboy, Vaquero. But she likes freaking this guy, my Axl Rose looking friend. And look at this picture here. Not happy. He's not happy what's happening because she's all over him. And then here they're just kind of waiting for me to put away the camera. This camera, by the way, would be stolen one day by Fort Lewis College football recruits who would come to a party at my house, a giant house that I lived in, which was the mansion built for the last territorial president in Colorado. And these recruits would show up and eat my goldfish and steal my camera. Fort Lewis College football, not known for winners. Okay, so here she is. Vaquero is left and not happy. And there she is playing around with fucking November Rain's hair. And so I would pull her aside like an idiot. And maybe I was just jealous. But I would say, I'm not sure if you should be hanging around a lot. I was that guy. And she did this stuff with her hands. At first I thought maybe she was just about to dazzle me. And she was just distracting me. And she freaking kung fu kicked me in the face. And so when I came to, it was day. And it was sober and somber. Everybody just stopped coming. I don't know what happened. They saw Adriana kick me in the face, and they're like, that guy is dumb. And so here we are, without shrimp, trying to catch a pigeon for food. And we would catch a pigeon and then be like, you know what, maybe we should not eat a pigeon we just caught in the alley. But we were very proud here, as you could tell. Very proud about the pigeon. So Jason and me, that's the Axl Rose looking dude. We would just get in scrapes about the Adriana thing. Like, we were coming back, there was this Pacifico outlet, and we're just like drunk and yelling at each other, I think vomiting spaghetti. And it's not an Eminem rhyme. That really happened. I think even kind of passing out by the railroad tracks in Puerto Penasco. I mean, these are my halcyon days here. This is like when I really thought I was on the rise. And I was like, dude, we're going to die. And I was like, we should just go. Where the hell's Poncho? So we ask around. Nobody's seen Poncho. Like, what the fuck? Poncho's disappeared? We are next. So we're packing up to get out. It's been like 3 weeks. We got to go anyway. We don't know where Poncho is. A lot of people have stopped coming by to cook shrimp. There's just this coldness that's developed. It's like an Ozark filter. You know that show where it's like blue instead of orangey? And then, pickup pulls up. It's freaking Vaquero, El Vaquero, the cowboy. And he's like, where are you guys going? And we're like, no, we're just going crazy as it were. And he's like, I have something for you. And he reaches in his pocket. And we're all standing and like cramped in this little trailer. And he reaches in his pocket. I was like, oh, he has for us our untimely death. And he reaches in. And it's slow motion. And I'm like looking at Jason like, way to freaking go. All right, maybe be a little less handsome. And he pulls out the biggest bag of weed I've ever seen in my life. You know, like when you buy peat moss, it's that. It's like somebody put a toddler in a sack and he hands it to us and we're trying to act cool, but we'd never seen this much marijuana in our life. I mean, this was a hard time to get weed. I mean, now that weed is everywhere, but back then we were so desperate. One time we ate oregano because we heard it could get us high and it didn't. It just gave us dry mouth and I smelled like a bad restaurant for several days. And here we have in our hands green, all kinds of quality American wealth. Like the American dollar goes up and down, but weed, this is an international monetary, what do they call it, denomination. This matters. And we're like, thank you, sir. And sidled our way to the Mercury Tracer, got to the border, and we're at this like a little bit shy of the border, trying to figure out what to do with the weed. Like, do we put it in a shampoo bottle? That was my thing. We're going to empty my pert bottle. We're going to put my hair, those expenses. And so I thought maybe, and one buddy, he's like, no. And he just goes total Clint Eastwood, shoves the bag of weed in his pants, snugs it up with his nethers. And we're like, really? And he's like, remember the border? And I don't know if it's still like this, but there was a green light, red light system. And if it was red light, totally arbitrary, you got stopped and searched. If it was green light, whoop. Green light, green, good times. And so we just counted on good luck. And boom, fortune was on our side. Maybe it's because we let Ramon stay with us and we help feed all the people the shrimp. I don't know. Just be good to people and good things happen to you. And we haul ass back to Durango because school's going to start the next day. We get there late Sunday. Our hero buddy has got a bunch of weed in his crotch. Our future is set. And we're a little stressed out because we have school. We get up the next morning, and there had been so much snow the night before that our fine arts auditorium had collapsed, thus compromising the whole fine arts school. And so they canceled school for another week. And we're like, okay, where's the guy with the weed? And it was amazing. And we all borrowed shovels from rando people. I remember we borrowed it from a church. And so we could just go work, make $20 an hour, shoveling snow, making money. Not as much as our friend who brought the weed back, but still something. And then, of course, all the friends we made along the way.